So welcome to today's session. We're going to go over the basics of foam rolling, and we're going to start sharing my screen here. So this is what we're gonna go through here, and basically these sessions I've turned them learn and earn. There's some of it's going to be learning, and some of it's going to be exercising. So that's the earning part. So that's what some of this session is going to be a little bit more of a presentation, and the goal is to teach you why we're doing these things and then show you how. Okay, so with this session, of course, we're doing foam rolling. So if you had a foam roller, that'd be great. A yoga mat would be awesome too, if you can get those things. And then the basics, we'll go right into it. Foam rolling is usually great for some, and those are underlined because we're going over some things and not all things, but it's good for self-release. So anyone who's used those tools to kind of help release their tissues, the foam rolling can help release tissues in different areas. Like if you use it properly, you can use it for stretching too. It's like assisted stretching. And then mobilizations is basically moving joints and helping you move joints to their end range. So if you're really stiff in one area, you can use a foam roller to help you mobilize into a better range of motion or your full range of motion. Okay, so like any tool though, foam rolling is best for certain things and not all things. So we're going to go over why it's what is good for and what it's not. So the question is, why foam roll? Like some people have never done it. Some people have. Like why foam roll? For me, I think foam rolling is good for if you need to self-release. So if you know you have certain tight muscles and you can't really get there by doing mobilizations, moving your own body and stretching it out, using the foam roller can really help you release the tissues. And also if you can't really stretch into a certain area, the foam roll can help you do that. So if you have tight muscles or fascia, that's one reason to foam roll. Another one is if you have stiff joints and you can't really move actively into certain ranges of motion, the foam roll can help you get into more of a range of motion. So if you have stiff joints, there is some research that says it doesn't really change the length of your muscle for you. So it's not really permanent kind of like release that you're going to get. So don't think that foam rolling is going to help you change the length of your muscle. It's just more helping you manage pain and helping you release tight muscles. Okay. And then another question is, when do I foam roll? So do I do it warming up before you exercise? Do you do it afterwards? Do you do it on your own session, just a foam rolling session? And the answer to this question is yes, all of the above, like whenever you want. So there has been some research that says warming up with a foam roll session can help you with your performance. If you have sore muscles from the previous workout or you have sore muscles, it can help release the muscles, help you warm up the tissue. So that's good. It can also help you decrease the soreness afterwards when you cool down. So if you have time, a foam roll session would be great. And then doing it on your own time, if you have like really tight muscles from a long day of work, doing a foam roll session on its own is also great. So yes, basically just foam roll if you need to. And then with the foam roller, it's usually best for larger body parts. We're not going to be foam rolling small body parts. It's really hard to kind of manage. So big body parts are usually quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, calf, mid-back, lats, shins, chest, those type of areas. So we're going to go over those areas. So these are the areas that most people or foam rolling can help. So chest, quads, the front of the shin. So the highlighted parts are kind of where we're going to target. But what I want you to really notice is these are muscular areas. We're not trying to compress the muscle onto the bone. So we don't want, like foam rolling people, a lot of times it hurts a lot. And it might be that actually putting too much pressure. You don't actually want to press the muscle into the bone so that it like gives you a lot of pain. You're just trying to gently kind of release the muscle. So you're not there to really give yourself a tremendous amount of pain. It's just letting your body kind of guide the session. So we're not going to be going over bony areas. So if you have certain areas that are bony, you don't want to go over that too much. We're not going to work on the IT band. Rolling the IT band, I think, and the research says it doesn't really help the IT band gain length. It's just a sensation difference. Like you just feel like you're loosening up. So It's not the best to foam roll that area. There's other things you can do if you have tight IT bands. So we're gonna go over more muscular areas and some joints. So mid back, especially some mobilization to the joints. So we're gonna put some videos up onto our social media pages for those, if you want to follow along. And then, of course, with the warning, because of this forum, we're not going to be able to watch you do it. So go within your pace, respect your limits. If it's really painful, back off and stay within your limits and take breaks if you need to, okay? So moving forward, just make sure you're taking your time and making sure you're respecting your limits. Okay, so if we don't have any questions, we can go right into the session. So any questions right now? Not really. Okay, let's get going. So I'm gonna take the screen out here. Okay, so everyone see my screen? Perfect. All right, so we're gonna get into the foam roll session. I'm gonna set up my timer here. Okay. So we're gonna get working on the mid back first. Okay, so we're gonna go onto the foam roller dead straight, and then we're going to lie on top of it. So we're gonna go onto the back, support your head, and we're gonna go and roll up to the low back, but not onto the low back. So we're gonna stop right about here, and then roll down towards the shoulder blade. So you're gonna go back and forth. So it's easier, or it's harder if you lift up your hips and go. It's easier if you keep your hips down and just slide your bum on the mat. But rolling back and forth, you might feel a crack in your mid back. That's okay. Okay, that means that you're just mobilizing the back. Your mid back is actually very mobile. So going up and down is a good way to go through it. So it's called a pass. So each time you go up and down is a pass. So we set the timer for about a minute here. So going up and down onto these areas, and there's the bell there. So if you notice certain areas in the mid back that was very tight, now you can just lean back and hold that area. And make sure you support your neck, okay? So I don't want you to hang your neck like this. Just find the areas that are really tight and just kind of melt over top of the foam roller. So just let yourself go. You might feel some stretching in the chest. So this is a really good way to reverse those curves you feel if you're sitting all day and rounded. This is reversing the curve of that. So it should feel very nice. Again, if it feels too painful, back off. But you're just supposed to let your body kind of go and lie on top of it. So that's a great little thing to do after your working day. This is just to go and find areas and just hold that for a while. You can do about 10 seconds and then back off and then do another area. Just don't go into the neck and don't go into the low back. Just stay in the middle, okay? So that's the mid back one. And the next one we're gonna do is we're going to do the chest stretch. So we're gonna lie with the foam roller straight through there. And then, if you can, lie right on top of the foam roller. So it takes a little bit of skill to get onto here like this, but we're not gonna lift up your leg. You can put your hands down for support, palm up, okay? And what you're going to do is just go and move through here and see where you feel that stretch. So we're gonna go up and down. You can do both arms. I just don't have enough room on the other side. So you're going to go up and down and just feel where the tension is. You shouldn't feel a lot of pain at all. You should just feel a tug in through these areas. So the goal is if you can touch the ground the whole way, that's considered good. If you can't and you're in the air, that's fine too. But we're just gonna try to get you stretching out this area. So if you notice it's tight through here, we're gonna hold that area later. So now that the bell's gone, wherever you feel tight, just hold it there and just stretch. If it's too much and that your arm weight is too much, you can put your hands like this and just let your elbows drop down. That's another way to just stretch it if you feel like this is too much, okay? So find the areas where you feel tight. It should not feel pain into the shoulder, okay? You should feel stretch into your chest and just hold that there for a while. Hopefully you kind of know you can hold it here if you want. You can hold it here. It's a great way to just let your body weight do the stretch for you. So wherever you found the tightness, just hold that there for a while and just let the stretch go. Again, you can do it this way. Just let it rest. For desk job workers, this is also really good in the front. Okay, so that's for your chest there. And then the next one we're gonna do should be for our lats. So let's wait for the rest timer, take a quick break. So this one is a little bit tougher to do. You're gonna lie on your side, and then you're gonna put the foam roller through here. Okay, so you're gonna lie on the side, put your hands, weight onto the hands, and then just kind of breathe into it. So your rib cage is here, and your pelvic bone is here. You're gonna go in between and onto the back a little bit. So you're gonna twist up towards the opposite way and just find the area. You can roll it a little bit up and down, and if you find a tender spot, you can stay there for a bit. I call it search and destroy, and just try to find those spots that you feel. And there's a sensation called referral. If you find a spot that kind of shoots somewhere else, that's actually okay as long as it doesn't feel numb. Okay, if you're feeling numb, you're probably compressing the nerves a little bit. So if you feel like a shooting pain from that referral, and when you back off, it goes away, that's a good spot to kind of go. So that's a great way to work the mid back, and then now go the other, or low back, and then now go the other side. So again, right in between the gap of your pelvic region, or pelvis, and your rib cage. So if you want a harder part of the stretch, you can lift up your body and go back and forth. You can tilt your back a little bit. Just don't go directly on the low back spine, okay? You're trying to work the area into the low back. So if you want, you can just kind of find an area and just kind of melt and breathe here. That's another way to do it. The passes going up and down is one way. Another way is if you find an area that's really like tender, you can kind of stay there for a bit and hold that there. I just stay for about 10 to 15 seconds. If you want to stay there a little longer, that's okay too. But yeah, that's one that people with that tight backs, that's a really good one for you. Okay, everyone good so far? Yeah, all right, good. So the next one we're gonna do is for the quads, okay? So right through the front, so same position, legs right here. You're gonna go right on top of your quad muscle here. So lie down, and then what you can do is go up and down. So you're gonna walk yourself up towards your kneecap, and then down and back. So up and down. You want to put equal weight on both sides as of right now. And most people, this is gonna be really tender. So if it is tender, put more weight on your hands and take some pressure off. You can keep your toes touching the ground and take some pressure off the front. But when you rock back and forth, what you can do is as you go towards each pass, you can tilt your body a little bit. So turn towards one way and then turn towards the other way. So you're gonna get a little bit more pressure on the one side. That's one way. So once you've found certain areas that are really tender, you can kind of stay there for a bit and just kind of rock back and forth into that area. Or if you find it close to the knee, you can go into the knee a little bit. For those of you who are, this is okay, it doesn't feel too bad, what you can do is lift up one leg, put the leg on top of the other one, and now you're going all your weight on the one side. So this one's gonna be really sore. but don't do it unless you feel like the both leg one is not too bad. So again, your leg is not a square, it's round. So you can kind of go around the leg. So turn a little bit and go up and down, and then turn the other way and go up and down. Okay, good. So you're gonna feel a little sore in there if you felt sore during the time. So it's gonna be a little bit sore, okay? And then the next one we're gonna do is the glutes. So staying right here with the foam roller, you're going to now, we'll go on the right one first, and then just kind of go back and forth through here. So so the bony part of the hip is right on the outside. We're not going there, we're going on the back. Okay, so you're gonna go up and down and just find, for me it's right here. If you find a spot there, you can kind of roll back and forth, but you can kind of go up and down through the glute. And again, our body's not a square, so you can kind of turn a little bit and just find certain areas. Let your body be the guide. So if it's too much, back off, take some more weight into the legs, and just don't put as much pressure into the foam roller. But like for me, like right here is really tight, yeah. And then now switch sides. Exact same thing, but on the other side. Yeah, so just very gently, very easy, up and down. Then you can kind of sit up, facing up a little bit more. Find those spots. Like right here for me, I can stay there for a bit. If you find a really tender spot, just go back and forth on it a little bit. Or you can just go up and down the whole way. So for the passes, I usually do about a minute for each pass, or each section. So a minute on each side is good. So everyone's still good there? How's that one? Good? Most people would enjoy that one for sure. Okay, so the next one is a hamstring. So we're gonna go into this position here. This one requires a little bit of shoulder strength. You're going to lift yourself up a little bit and just kind of walk yourself down and back and forth. So what you don't want to do is go right underneath here. You want to stop about here. Okay, there's a lot of nerves underneath in the back of your knee, so we're going to try to avoid those and just go back and forth through here. And then you can kind of walk yourself up right to the edge of the bum and then back and forth. If you need a little bit more pressure, you can put the foot on top of the other and lift up the foot. That will be very intense for some people, but that should be pretty good. So we're gonna go another minute here. You can emphasize certain areas. So if you find a really tender spot right here, another way you can do it without putting so much pressure on your elbows is to put some pressure onto the foot and then just kind of going through here. Another way too is just to keep your bum on the mat and just sliding, finding certain areas and just holding it there, and then bring it back. So you want to go the whole length of the muscle if you can, so go right up to the edge of the bum, and then going back. And again, if you find a certain spot that really is tender, you can kind of stay there for a bit and then work through. Good. All right. So good rest. Sometimes just take a quick break. I know I'm sweating a little bit. I don't know if you guys are, but it does warm up your body pretty fast. So next one we're going to do is calves. So very similar as to the hamstring. But this time you're going to go below. Don't go behind the knees. Stay up to here and then go down. And you're not going to go into your Achilles tendon. You're going to stay roughly to about here. Okay, so it's a small area. So you're just going to go up and down. So if this is going to be tender for a lot of people, so you don't need to lift up your bum like this. You can kind of just scoot and just put some pressure down into the calves. So for people who walk a lot for work, this should feel really tender, but it should feel really nice afterwards. But again, listen to your body. If it's too much, back off. You can just kind of do this, put some body weight into it. You can even just take the pressure off. Just listen to your body. So we're going to stay right here for another minute. If you find that this isn't enough, you can put all the weight on one leg, but it's going to be really sore. And again, you can work on the sides a little bit. You can turn, going back and forth. And then turn the other way. So you shouldn't cause any numbness or anything like that. If it's causing numbness, it's too much, so back off a little bit. Even just putting some body weight into it like this, sometimes it's good enough. You can work your way up, but don't overdo it. All right, good. A little bit of a break there. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is for the shins. So be very careful of this one. The shin bone here is very tender and very sensitive. So you don't want to go on the shin bone. You actually want to go on the meaty part of your shin, okay? So right through here. So lie down. And then you can put your foot like this, and then just kind of go into the shin area. And you can even lie down, but that's a really good way to get the front of the foot. Oh, and do not go on the bony part. Again, you can keep your hip down. When you put your body weight down, it's going to be a lot easier for your body. Okay, switch sides. Again, for people with shoulder pain, it might be tough for you to kind of put all your body weight there. So if you want to lie down and do it like this, that's also okay. So for a lot of the foam rolling, if it's too much on your shoulder, listen to your body, okay? Don't go crazy. It's not meant to kill you, okay? Foam rolling is not meant to cause you to be in agony. It's just meant to kind of help you release some tissue. So right here for me is tight, so I just work through there. All right, that is it. So we're gonna just cool down a little bit. How's that for everyone? Good, yeah. So that's that's about, I've timed it, it's about 15 to 16 minutes. So it's a great way to just kind of release yourself on a day. If you're watching TV, go through that routine. I'm gonna have this on, again, online. and have this online for you to rewatch. So you can just skip to the portion where you just do all the foam rolling and just rewatch it again. It's a really good routine. You can see I'm a little bit sweaty, so it's a good warm up too. So if you guys want to warm up and you feel tight, you want to do an exercise routine first, you can do the session and then go into your warm up or go into your exercise.